on the third month of every year, the 21st day is set aside to celebrate and mark the World Down Syndrome Day. And today on Let's Talk Family, this is what we'll generally be talking about and touching on. My name is Faith Kaulu, and thank you so much for joining me today. And to do this, I am gladly joined by Joanne Kamau, who's a mother of 3 boys, and her last boy is a child with Down syndrome. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today and just willingly accept to talk about it. It's just a very big gesture, and I'm grateful to have you today.
Thank you.
What was your reaction when the doctor told you or informed you about your child?
Well, I think each mother, every baby comes with its own joy. So yes, of course we didn't expect to hear what the doctor was going to say, but it came in as a shocker, because yes, your baby is here, he's well, but he has Down syndrome. And it doesn't stop there. It comes with all the other bad things that comes with Down syndrome. So it is hard. It is hard just after you've given birth and you have those kind of huge news, and especially touching on health issues. It's not easy. Yeah.
So for you, you found out immediately after birth?
Yes, the second day I gave birth through the CS section, so the doctor waited up to the second day. And she said that she wanted to talk to us, and of course, that gut feeling that there's something that is wrong. Yeah. And that is when she told us that my baby has Down syndrome. And of course, she went ahead to tell us what Down syndrome comes with. Of course, the health issues, the growth issues, and many things.
Prior to this, with your first 2 children, is Down syndrome something you had come across with, be it from friends whose children are also with Down syndrome, or studies and research?
No, the only time I had maybe heard about Down syndrome was through a program that used to come in the TV some years back, and it featured someone with Down syndrome, a family with a child with Down syndrome, and that is the much I could relate. Yeah, you see that in a movie, yes, you're not shown the back, what happens at the, so yes, I really didn't know much about Down syndrome. Okay. Yeah.
So from the time the doctor informed you that your child is with Down syndrome, what ran into your mind when the news was broken?
Wow, when the news came in, the thing that came to my mind is that my baby would not survive. And the first thing the doctor tells you, I think all the others disappear. But once they mention the heart, and you're like, wow, the children with Down syndrome come with a myriad of health issues, one being the heart. And that's scary. So the issue was my baby would not survive. That was the most scary part, yeah.
And how did the doctor give enough advice on how you will move forward from then on? Maybe how to handle the child to ensure that you, reduce the risk factors that will lead to the other open chances or diseases that come with having Down syndrome? Did the doctor give enough advice and talk to you to just calm you down?
The doctor gave advice, but in my opinion, I don't think that is the time to be told all in one. Yeah, that bombarding of the information that comes, with Down syndrome, I don't think is very necessary, because really you're not prepared. There are those that know before they give birth. So you can go through counseling and things like that. But for any mother, I think that is not the kind of news you give immediately after birth. Congratulations, you have a baby boy or a baby girl, is enough at that time. And you would seek an appointment with the mother of the child or the parents, and now take them gradually. That would be the ideal situation. Yeah, but I don't think I heard everything that the doctor said on that day. The only thing that came was that I suspect the baby has Down syndrome, And this test is not even done in the country. We have to do blood works. They are taken to South. So you're also now thinking about costs. Then the heart issue, you're being told the cardiologist is also not having, yes, you're being given the information, but there are a lot of limitations to that information. I think the mother should be let first to enjoy their baby. And then, because it's a baby, yeah. And then take the parents, let it be gradual. Yeah, I think that would be a better option for me.
Now, for you, when did you come to terms, and be able to transition and openly talk about it to the society?
I would say I was lucky because I talked about it maybe a year. Okay, to my immediate family, my children, my spouse. Within the year, I was able to tell them. And because they expected things to happen to my baby, sit, walk, to my extended family, my in-laws, my sisters, my brothers, I told them now when we started the medical, because, they would wonder, why are you in and out of hospital? So that is the time I told them about the condition. Yeah.
And how did they take it in? What was their reaction?
I think I was lucky, unlike many mothers. Everyone just was supportive from my home, my children, my older children. And they just told me, Mommy, don't worry, we are here, we'll support you. My immediate family, don't worry, we'll support you. My colleagues, it was not because I spoke about it and they understood. They've supported me so far, yes.
And for people with negative comments, or maybe not really negative, but they're not sensitive enough and don't know what to say, because just as you've said, the baby is expected to start walking. So if someone blatantly asks you, but your child is old enough, why aren't they walking?
Or why aren't they even growing? Because what happens when a child has a heart condition, the growth, you'd find like, yes, a baby is a year old and they look like they are 4-5 months because they don't grow, yeah, because they respiratory, the heart, so they don't grow. And people will be asking you, but what I've taken it as an opportunity. The negative comments come, but I've taken it as an opportunity to educate, because that is somebody who has interest. The minute that you come and tell me, and ask me, why isn't the baby sitting? I take that time to tell you, oh, my baby is not sitting because they have this condition, and with this condition comes delayed milestones, and you explain. And that is one person who will spread the news. Of course, there are those who do it in passing, and I have, I don't know, I've built a mechanism to let that go. But those that give me the opportunity, I talk about Down syndrome anywhere, chat, school, yeah.
You are openly creating awareness.
Yes. I've never hidden my baby. If you stare and you can talk, I'll say hello. And I'll tell you, yes, my baby has Down syndrome. And I've met God does things, God is mysterious. He'll bring people by who will encourage you. And those who don't know about Down syndrome, they'll be telling you things to lift you up when you're down. Of course, there are those ones with negative. They'll be there. You just need to be, yeah.
And how has this affected your family in a positive way? Has it bring it close together?
Yeah, as a family, trust. When you don't have, like if I ever have money and I want to buy something, I go and buy it. But this is a place, this baby has made us as a family to really just depend on God, because there's nothing much you can do. There's nothing much the doctors or it makes you get to a point where it is only you and God. Yeah, so yes, our faith has grown, and I depend on God a lot. I talk to God a lot, yeah, and it's brought us together, because this baby, we have to pay attention, all of us, from my help to the siblings, to the daddy, yeah, and my workplace. And the first years are crazy. The first, second years, the therapies, and so my boss was good. My colleagues understood. I was able to take my leave, and long hospitalization days. I would think it has, even guys around me now, patience, yeah, it takes a toll on you on finances because it's quite expensive. Imagine the therapist, maybe the cheapest is a government hospital that will charge you 500. And imagine this is a baby who is growing. You're carrying them on your back, taking them to a public hospital. That will take you almost a half a day. But we thank God that there are therapists who come at home. It's quite expensive. Maybe a minimum of about 1,500 per session, per 2-hour session. And when they are younger, you need to do like that every day. So you also become a therapist because you can't afford. So the medical checkups, the blood works are so expensive. The diet, they have a lot of intolerance. Then now, all those specialists, it is quite expensive. It is quite expensive, and for those mothers that are not working, or even if you're working and you don't have a good job, we are losing so many babies because of that. Yeah.
And it definitely takes a toll on you.
Yes.
Let's talk about your faith now. After you found out that you have a child with Down syndrome, did you question God? Was it a moment where you kind of lost your faith, or you're wondering, why me, God?
I think that happens. It did happen. I was angry. I was angry because I expected to have a baby like, human standards. When you're told your baby is fine, they are 4 kgs and they're, come back after 2 weeks for them. But you see, now you ask God, really, you're God. You decided to give me this baby. You're giving me a baby with all these challenges. Really, did I need... You get to that. I got to that level, but I thank God it didn't last long. It did. And I am God. He reminds you I am God. I do what I want. And I've worked with that. And one day at a time, my gyna told me, you know what? It's not that bad. What you do, one day at a time. And that's how I've handled my baby. If it was not time for school, I was not thinking about school. If it was not time for the heart surgery, I was not thinking about the heart surgery. If it was not time for the eyes, I was, just one day. We are dealing with the heart now. It's the heart. We are dealing with the diet. So one day at a time. And that's how I've been able to cope. Yeah.
Let's talk about the unsolicited advice. The doctors who know it all, and say, Mtoto wako, this is what you should do. Did they come in?
I remember one time because after 1 year, immediately after birth, of course I was told my baby had the heart, but the heart was not that bad. There are those that come with it was just a PDA, and the doctor said it closes on its own. So you can imagine you're being sent home, and you're told that your child has a hole in the heart, but come back after 1 year. So 1 year we didn't go back. So after 1 year, my pediatrician told me, no, I still feel the mama. Go back to the cardiologist. And the cardiologist, of course, are now schedulers wanted to do the surgery now. But before the surgery, there are those many tests that you do before the surgery. So we were sent for the blood works because the doctor said, I can't touch this baby, the way he's breathing and things like that. So during that process, we went for it's called something, electrolyte test. And the potassium levels were so bad. And my baby was told not to eat anything that has potassium. And you can imagine everything we eat has potassium. And you know what the doctor told me? Do you see in the US, when they do that injection, they use potassium to kill those guys. And that is how bad potassium is. So don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. So after I struggled with the diet, one time I called up one parent. And she just told me, you know what, Joanne, you've been told these things by the doctors, but trust your mother instinct. Do give your child what you feel is right. And that's what I did. I just started giving my baby. And the levels still went down. So that advice comes, but sometimes you need to trust your instinct as a mother. That time I didn't follow instructions.
From the doctor.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a very short break. We'll be right back. Definitely the conversation is still ongoing. Let's use the hashtag Let's Talk Family and engage us on our social media pages. That is at CACTV on Facebook, and on Twitter it's at CACTV_Kenya.
Are you looking for a reputable school to guide you in pursuing your dreams in nursing? Look no further. PCA Kikuyu Hospital School of Nursing is accredited by the Nursing Council of Kenya to offer Diploma in Community Health Nursing. With a mean grade of C plane and above, we will walk with you through your journey to pursue your dreams. We are located in a serene environment conducive for learning. At the heart of Kikuyu Sub-County neighboring Alliance Boys and Girls School, we also pride ourselves for having a fully equipped modern library with e-learning facilities, qualified and committed lecturers, comfortable and learning-friendly lecture rooms. At the state-of-the-art skills lab, spacious student hostel with excellent accommodation facilities, and chaplaincy staff at the hand for spiritual and pastoral care. April 2020 intake is currently ongoing. To register, apply to the principal, PCA Kikuyu Hospital School of Nursing through email nursing@pcakikuyuhospital.org. For more information, call the numbers on your screen.
Have you ever dreamed or imagined of owning a prime property in the fastest growing areas in Kenya today? The PCEA Cooperative Society Limited is making your dreams come true. We have plots along Kangunda Road at Kantafu, Juja Farm and Thika Municipality. All the plots have ready title deeds and are ready for development. For booking and reservation, call us on 0708-145-222 or shoot us an email at pceahousingltd@gmail.com. PCEA Housing Cooperative Society Limited is turning your dreams into a reality.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Family. Thank you so much for staying tuned right here on CAC TV. On today's episode, I'm joined by Joanne Kamau. This is if you're joining us right now. And we're talking about Down syndrome, how it affects the family, and how the society should respond to all this, yeah? Because it is something new. Most people don't get to hear about it until they come into contact maybe with a parent whose child is with Down syndrome, or if they're studying about it, yeah? So talking about Down syndrome, we have couples that have separated and their relationship or marriage has been tested because one couple blames the other, it's because of you. For people who are in such a situation, what would you tell them?
Wow, that's hard. It happens. There's a lot of blame games when things go wrong. Your in-laws will be telling you, we don't have such children. You'll be also saying, we don't have, it is from you. But this is a baby, and God makes no mistakes. And when God gives you, we believe that when God decides to give you this child or whatever he gives you in this life, we are told you're able to handle it. So it's good to take time, let everyone mourn for that baby that they were expecting, and then don't mourn for too long, because there's no time to waste. There are things that have to be done then. But as a mother, you have to first know that you do this journey on your own. Decide that you're going to go this journey alone first. Then every other person will join you. Because what has happened and what we've seen, that the way you treat your baby is how other people around you are going to treat that baby. So finish mourning as fast as possible. Reality is already here, and start the journey. And every other person will just, including your spouse, if he decides to move, you have that space and move on, because there are things you have to do that cannot wait. Yeah, and sometimes God works in mysterious ways. Maybe that spouse is not ready to deal with that situation. It's not only husbands. There are mothers who have decided I am not, and men have come in to take care of these children. So we all deal with situations differently. So whoever is strong enough, walk the journey. Let others join you. Yeah, because there are things that need to be done as soon as the baby is born. Things like therapy. You need to decide, where am I going to take this baby for therapy? Yeah, if it's a heart condition, there are those that cannot wait even a month. You have to start planning on how this child is going to be managed. Yeah, so yeah.
And for parents who hide their babies, because you have those who are either embarrassed to bring them out in the public or are afraid of the stares. Yeah, because people
I've told you, it is the way you behave. If I cover my baby, everyone will want to know. why I'm covering this baby. But and by the way, they are so beautiful. People will tell you, mtoto anafanana Chinese. Of course, there are those who've been chased away because this baby looks like a Chinese, and because of the way their eyes look and the way and the curly hair, and they all have curly hair. Yeah, so if you accept your baby and be ready to talk about it, get as much as information about Down syndrome, so that anytime you meet these people, you are able to, to tell them about Down syndrome. And guys are ready to learn. Of course, those nasty comments, one or two, but most of the times, most people will be receptive. Tell us what happened, Yeah, so be ready to give information. Don't get offended. Try to talk to those people who approach you. Don't hide your baby. Don't hide your baby, yeah. And most of it, when they're younger, you would put them indoors because they're susceptible to respiratory infections because of the way the structure. So you can keep them away. Of course, we are not allowed to expose them, sana. But when you get an opportunity, go with your baby for shopping. Go with your baby to church. They are easy. Yeah.
About the support group, yeah. Tell us about it. When was it founded, and how does it offer help to women?
Wow, yeah. A good place where you get people who know what you're going through. There are things I would tell you and you would try to visualize them and you would not understand. It's a good group because when women join and I don't know how God does this, because immediately you get this baby, it's very hard for you to get another mother who has, yeah. So, but this support group and our doctors now, most of our doctors who are supporting us, like my cardiologist the first question she would ask you, have you met a mother with a child with Down syndrome? And she would connect you to any of her patients. And that's how we've gotten so many mothers coming in to the support group. How it has helped us walk this journey, not knowing you're alone, knowing that you're not alone. Having a place where you can, ask, it's in the middle of the night, my baby's having this and this, have you people experienced this? Of course, we have doctors and we have clinicians, but, a mother's experience is, it's not, you can't compare it to anything. And, it has helped us. It was formed by one of us. She's called Mama Ella or Eva, and she felt, and it started as a small group. And at times we just used to meet to cry, crying, it has happened. The first sessions we used to have, it was just a crying session. But now we have grown. We are beyond crying and offering support. And it started as a WhatsApp group. And then the WhatsApp grew. Then we decided to form a community-based organization. We registered, we're already 1 year down the line as a community-based organization. And since we registered, we've just been doing awareness through World Down Syndrome Day and the October month. And, the social media, we've come to the press, word of mouth, students, some of our parents have talked to the medical students. We have joined organizations like non-communicable diseases where we interact with other organizations that have children with conditions, or they themselves have conditions. There are churches that are coming up. One Mavuno, there's a parent there who has decided, listened to a mom, and they have a tea fellowship once a month for mothers with special. So we are really, and it's many people now know about Down syndrome. But we still want to do more. We want to do more because these first few years, 0 to 5, it's medical issues. But after 5, our children need to go to school. Yeah, you can't get a school. And even if you take your child to school, we don't have teachers. Like where I live, we don't have public schools. In public schools, there'll be an integrated system. In private schools, it's the owner who decides. So our children are growing up, they need to go to school. There are no schools. So that's why we are creating awareness. Employ a special needs a special needs teacher, so that these children don't have to travel. Like I live in Kitengela and I have to bring my child to Nairobi, and considering the way their immunity is, Or now what we do, you have to employ a shadow teacher. That's your expense, and then because they don't have the language, they have the speech, because there's a way they communicate, and as family we can understand. But in school, and churches, they should know how to respond to these parents, because most parents are not going to church because they don't feel accepted. Yeah, if it's a shopping, I thank God for our shopping mall in Ivans. They've seen my baby since he just runs around and they know him. But there are places where so we need people to know about it. We really need people to know about it, and that's what we are doing. Our mission now is just to educate, create awareness, and support families or families with children. Like, you'll be coming into our group and we'll be asking you, have you done this test? Have you done this test? If you don't, if maybe you don't have money, we raise money within ourselves. This lady needs to go for thyroid. This lady needs to go for echo. We have to pay for NHIF because NHIF has been paying for the heart surgeries. We do that as a support group. Yeah, so some mothers will go down because they can't afford. But once you're able to pay that NHIF 6,000 per year, you're able to pay for that echo. You're able to, and we have doctors who really support us. We'll be following. Please do this echo for free. Yeah, there's some doctors who have really helped us, and some therapists, like that guy who's given us an office. When we tell him we have a desperate situation, kindly assess and give us a way forward. He has done that. He is the owner of Ability Therapy Center. He's done that.
Nice. And how may one be part of that group? Let's say a mother is watching and they would like to also be part of the group. How do they do that?
A mother, yeah. The support group specifically is for mothers or a sibling. We have older children who maybe their parents are not there, so we have allowed siblings, women. Yeah, because of I think women we talk so much. Men would be but we have cell groups all over the country: Mombasa, Kisumu, Kakamega, Nyeri. So you get that community. We are on Twitter as T21 Family Support Organization. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. So you can follow us and reach out. Other than the social media pages, we have had two. Last year we did the World Down Syndrome Awareness Day. We had a fun day at the Children's Traffic Park. And through advertisement, the press, the social media, we were able to get families coming in. This year, unfortunately, because of this coronavirus thing, we've postponed the events, but we want to do a walkathon, a 2-kilometer walk, and fun and games, and of course, invite consultants, parents, and all the stakeholders, and engage people. We've done the same in Mombasa. Last year we did Nairobi, Mombasa. This year we were planning to do again Nairobi because World Down Syndrome Day is a major event. In October, it's a whole month. So we visit schools, we visit churches, our workplace. Like at my workplace, we did an interview. It was featured in our bulletin and in our pay slips. There was a message on Down syndrome. So we reach out. We have encouraged parents to speak in every social place that you have, family gatherings. And once you reach one person, they'll reach another person. So it's been one-on-one. We have done those public gatherings, public forums during the month of March and October. So this year we have postponed until this thing maybe is controlled, and we'll still be able to celebrate. Yeah, we've gone also out there to schools, to hospitals. We have done a starter pack as T21 families, where we want to give to hospitals, that once a mother gets a child with Down syndrome, instead of all that information, just welcome the baby, and it's us. We're actually looking for funds to print as many as possible and display them in hospitals and in schools. So you'll find most insurance companies don't cover. If it's about the government, you see, there's tests that are so expensive. Like they suffer from something called hypothyroidism. The thyroid is what controls the hormones in our bodies. This test itself costs about between 7 and 10,000. It's supposed to be done maybe every 3 months. The medication is so expensive for those that. So the government should, subsidize those drugs. There are those now who get convulsions. The echoes. One echo, just seeing a cardiologist, about 15,000. So this parent who, even for us who are working, it's expensive. Yeah.
And for parents who are not earning as much or as well, how do they do that?
Maybe it's just time. Because how will you even visit a cardiologist? You go to Kenyatta, maybe, the cardiologists are there. But the booking, you'll find like you'll get a booking in 2025, and this baby needs the surgery like in a month's time. So, so you need to give priority, but the government, subsidize, So we are trying even as a support organization, if you could buy an echo, and then we get doctors who can volunteer just to come and now we have an office. We didn't have an office. We have an office. One of our supporters, the Ability Therapy Center, has given us space. So if we could get a donor to buy for us that echo machine, our parents would know the condition of. Yeah. Some of them don't. I was lucky. I was able to have a cover. So day 2, when the doctor told me all those things, I told her, bring those specialists. I have a cover. So the cardiologist came, the blood works were done. Yeah, but for that mother who is in the mashinani, where maybe they are not cardiologists, it's quite, they have to come to Nairobi. All of them are referred to Kenyatta, and it's not easy.
And is there another way other than being to the hospital, let's say the traditional way?
Of knowing if you have a heart condition?
Of maybe therapy?
No, for the heart condition, for you to know, you have to do an echo. Yeah, for the doctor to know if there's a hole or not.
So for them, there's no option?
There's no option. And we have to do an echo. A child with Down syndrome has to do an echo just to rule out that you don't have a heart defect. And that's, I think, the major. Most of the children born with Down syndrome have heart conditions. Yeah. So other than the health, and that's between 0 and 5. Then after that, now there are other social issues. Okay, with therapy is also quite expensive. You have to do therapy so that the muscles, remember eating, everything in your body is, the muscles have to, so there are children who can't eat. So they have to have the tube, either in the stomach or the throat or put through the nose. Those tubes are not cheap until their muscles develop. There are those children who walk early, even at 9 months. There are those who walk even at 5 years. So you have to continue doing the therapy so that the muscles don't tighten. Then there's the speech therapy. We don't have enough speech therapists, and they are damn expensive. A session would be going up to maybe a cheaper one would be at 4K.
That's one session.
And you need to do it daily. So the government, the KMTC is training all these people, but they're not employed. Or even if they choose not to be employed and decide to go it on their own, they make more money. So there should be controls, in terms of the fees that are charged. So in terms, we have occupational therapists, speech therapists, physiotherapists, all those. So the government should come in and support. Because if you don't do all those things, the babies don't survive.
And how can we sensitize the society? Because of course, naturally, when we come in contact with this, the first reaction is to stare and wonder and ask questions. How can we sensitize the society? Because sometimes the parents are still bitter or angered, so that we do not trigger them.
Well, you're doing a good thing as CAC TV if there's a person out there who is hearing today, they would know how to react if they found a parent with a child with Down syndrome. So we need to create awareness, be it print media, social media, the televisions, and most people will have it could even be taught in schools. It can be taught in schools. They would have something on special needs and list the conditions, because it's not just Down syndrome. Every other, like with autism, you would not even, and there are children who have Down syndrome and autism at the same time. So with once we create awareness, we believe that is the first step. Yeah.
And now that you are here and you have interacted with other mothers and parents in general, you are creating awareness. Would you wish that you had it any other way?
If I had this information, I know the mothers that are coming in now are not like mothers who got these children 20 years ago. There is information. There is even Dr. Google, who sometimes is not very good. It makes you get real scared. It's better to get that experience from a mother. But now, anyone who gets a child with Down syndrome, there's information out there. There are different groups, even networks outside of Kenya, that are available on social media. You can interact. So go out there, talk to mothers. For a mother who has a child with Down syndrome, don't close. Yeah, go out there, look for information, talk to people, find out, I'm sure these days, even if you went to Facebook and just type, I'm looking for a mother with a child with Down syndrome, you'll get so much responses, so engage as much as possible. For you, the press, continue help supporting and creating awareness in your own way. Yeah, it will help.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, God bless and say keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Because I believe people shut away.
Yeah.
And even the society at times view kids as cursed. Kids with Down syndrome as cursed, or is it something to do with witchcraft?
Yes.
They do not
something you
understand.
did, you'll be told, oh look, are you drinking or are you smoking? Or no, this is a genetic condition. I don't think any studies have been done. I don't think there's anyone who really know. But he's God again. He has his reasons. Yeah, he has his reasons. I know one time we had gone for a holiday, and one lady just stopped us. My baby was small. I was just seated aside, and he stopped my husband. Said, "Are you the father to this child?" And my husband said yes, and he told my husband and my son that you people you're a special edition father, and he told my son you're a special edition brother, and he asked them, they are men, that if you went to a showroom and you got a particular car and you're told one of these cars is a special edition car, which car would you choose? And of course, the special edition comes with, and he told them, yes, children with Down syndrome are special edition. For us, we are a mass production because we are created with everything. But for these children, they have that special edition. And God had, in his own wisdom, decided to create these special editions. So it's God's way of, I believe it's God's way of changing the society around us. How? Because we'll be asked questions. How did you treat that child? There was that child in your church. There was that child in your community. And we are told Jesus will say, I knocked at your door. I was hungry. You did. So that child, my special edition child, who I put in your community, how did you support that child? Yeah. So we are all accountable, whether I'm a parent to a child with the Down syndrome or special needs, or you are my neighbor, my churchmate, my colleague. We all have a responsibility to ensure that they have a comfortable life and they achieve, they live a full life. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you
have
too.
put it very well.
Yes.
That we are all accountable.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So that's it for today, right here on Let's Talk Family. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, keep watching CAC TV.